healing theologies, and fighting for the dignity that is our birthright.
We hold in our body the struggle of a mother's 11-year-old swollen.
We hold the struggle of confinement in our body. We hold the winding constrictions that seek to suffocate us, to squeeze life out of us.
We hold the struggle of Black Southern women in our body. We hold the struggle of Black churched women in our body.
We feel the struggle of anger and oppression in our body.
Long for the freedom of all who hold shame, fear, and hate closer than they hold compassion, respect, and God. We long for the liberation of little girls. We long for the liberation of young girls blamed for their own abuse.
We long for the liberation of the aunties, cousins, sisters, lovers, daughters, and friends held captive by policies that would seek to control their body but can't control their divine spirit and hearts.
We long for the liberation of the bodies and minds of all marginalized genders.
We long for the liberation of regenerative wisdom. We long for the liberation of all.
Whose struggle do we hold in our body, everyone?
Whose liberation do we long for?
Whose liberation do we long for?
We hold in our body the struggle of young pregnant people seeking abortion care, their fates in the hands of strangers in courtrooms.
We hold in our body the struggle of us, the unsuspecting woman and man whose body has fought to absorb the raw memory of the monstrous acts committed against her.
We hold the struggle of us, survivors of the modern that tried so hard to deal with the body that ripping
We hold in our body the impact of shock and pain during an unplanned pregnancy.
We long for the liberation of those receiving bomb.
We long for the liberation of the unsuspecting woman,
who is tired of dressing her wounds with interwoven patches of forgive and forget. We long for the liberation of those whose healing balm is nothing less than radical agency.
We long for the liberation of our collective imagination, for the freedom and courage to dream of a world we have not yet seen, one in which the dignity and freedom of every person is protected, honored, and revered.
We long for the liberation of memories infused with grief, struggling with limits and letting go. We long for the liberation of all.
We hold the struggles of centuries, generations in our bodies.
We hold in our bodies the struggles of those who have awakened in the middle of the night, knowing in their bones that they could not carry that pregnancy to term, but were trapped by state abortion restrictions. Who may have to navigate rigid work schedules, low-paying jobs, broken-down cars, and impossible bus schedules, language barriers, fear of deportation, and the countless hurdles that hinder them from exercising their conscience and acting on their own world decision makers, and still may not be able to access the care they need.
We hold in our bodies the struggle of all those whose sense of physical safety and bodily autonomy has been diminished, decayed, destroyed by the brutality of misogyny, of trans and homophobia, of racialized capitalism.
We hold in our bodies the oppressive restrictions that force us into a future we did not choose. Fierce and protective God, hold tight in your hands the lives of little girls. Protect them from the men who prey upon their trust, their impressionability. Remind those who seek to harm these beloved girls that their sin hangs around their neck as a millstone.
We long for the liberation of all of God's beloved children, those who parent and those who do not, those who do not give birth and those who do, those who are thriving and those just trying to survive.
We long for the liberation of those on the margins, the forgotten about, those who are young or scared, and those who need a compassionate heart to walk alongside them as they seek to carry out what they know is right for them.
We long for the liberation of our collective body,
interdependent and gloriously embodied in our sacredness, our strength, our will toward freedom and thriving for each and all.
We long for the liberation of us all together. We long for the liberation of all.
Amen.
Amen. We are going to take a group photo and then head off to Main Street Garden. So